these four pictures, because it is a circle, always was, always will be, no beginning and no end. Just waking up within, realizing the predicament, and then transcending it. To make, let's say, our problems, put it in a more appropriate fashion. How difficult really is the process? How difficult is it really? It's very difficult when we have, when we are under constriction, when we're confused, when there's pain involved, hurt, especially hurt. It seems impossible, the process. It seems like it's a forever thing. But how appropriate is it really? Is it really that impossible? Is it really that difficult to transcend? And looking at these four pictures and understanding, it's not. It brings it more into perspective. I mispronounce this word. The Buddhists, they have a certain word, and I always mispronounce it. But as you know, the Buddhists have a very clear and defined set of steps, meditation and development. And they're really wonderful. They're very good. And it takes an awful lot of practice to stay with it. And then they have this other teaching that came in, like out of the blue, and transcended all the teachings. It's like, forget it. Forget it. It is. Just forget it. And this is what we're doing, actually. And I'll give a few of the steps. How is it pronounced? Dzogchen.
Dzogchen.
Dzogchen? Okay. Whatever it is. Deep. Okay. All right. Whatever it is. This is what we're doing. Because there is a way to do it. That we already have arrived. Look what has happened in your lives in the last 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years. Have you noticed a lot of the people how younger and happier, and how the lines have changed on their faces? How easy you become more with yourself. The faces have become more beautiful and younger. That was the one thing that Lama Tarchin noticed on me. He was in shock. I hadn't seen him in like 12, 13 years. And he was in shock how my face had changed. It became very young. Because when I knew him, it was just like everyone else. And there was a lot of age on it. A lot of seriousness, concern, more hardcore business. And he was wondering, what happened? What happened? What did you do? Because this is what this process does. And it was like, I don't know, it just happened. Whereas life is really very natural. And we follow its natural path. It's like the old ones would walk and follow nature, be as nature, and one will find oneself. Do as nature does, and one will find one's path is quite easy. Understand the signs in nature, and you will see your own road signs. If you make your own path, beware. If you follow your own pictures, beware. In walking the streets of Santa Cruz, there was this other young man, and we were both a little touched. And we got to know each other because we kind of like lived on the streets. And he was doing his juggling acts and his clown acts to earn money. And he was a very happy person and getting everybody to have a nice, wonderful day. He was trying to bring happiness to people. And I was there, like ignoring people and working out my insanity inside, trying to get all this worked out. And there he spent his time doing his number, and I was doing mine. And we're pretty much about the same age. It was hard to say at that time. It seemed there was no way out for me. And it seemed like he was getting out because of his joy and his happiness and his tremendous energy in making people happy. And I was working on my unhappiness and why it was happening. And yet I was trying to recognize the road signs because I could sense them and see them, that they were there. I just couldn't read them. And in the last month, I hadn't seen him in Santa Cruz for about 2 years. And there he was, and he was hanging onto this tree. He was completely depressed. And his name is Donald. And I went up to him and asked him, God, what happened, Donald? Where have you been? He took off to, I believe it was Tennessee, and became a night guard. And he just wanted a different lifestyle. And he said while he was a night guard, he felt that someone slipped some drugs into his drink, water or juice or whatever. And he found himself in a psychiatric ward, and they were giving him all kinds of drugs. And once he developed some form of awareness of where he was at and what the conditions were, he got away from there. He skipped out of the hospital and came back to California. And he's trying to collect himself all over again. And here he is, very depressed. And he lost all his joy and his hope. And it's like he started from ground zero all over again. So I encouraged him to start all over again because he had a lot of acts on the street for money. He would do magic tricks, or he would be a clown one day, or juggling another day. So he did. He started up again. But you could see, as a result of that experience that he had in Tennessee, he lost a lot of his sanity. He went down a little too far. And he didn't have the clarity of mind that he had all those years. Because the one thing that he did not do, a lot of people think it is just to make people happy and to be happy. I realize, I was hoping that is not the result. That is not the end means of life. There has to be more, and this is where the light from above, that there has to be more to life than just my life. Than just walking the streets and trying to figure out my neuroses. And yet I'm trapped in my neuroses. There's got to be more than that. Donald, when we were walking the streets together, was my hope. He was my hope. He was my mentor. He was a shining star for me. And how fragile life can be for any of us. To pick out certain elements the signs that nature follows, the signs that are healthy, that we know that we can trust, are not easy for anybody. For who really knows what are the true signs? Who really knows what the true path is? Who really has the wisdom? You know, it's kind of like we're all kind of like gambling and hoping this is it. This is the way. This is the light, the true light. This is the reality. And because of that, this very simple sign. If I could just see how life sees, to have the courage and the care to see through life's eyes, and not just my eyes. To have a peek, a little peek. What would that do? A little opening, what would that do? Or when I was walking the streets, I'm very troubled. Tremendous turmoil inside. Confusion was my headline of the day. There was this something gnawing in me inside, it was hope when I needed it. It was a faith when I needed it. That I could trust life, even though I was in turmoil, even though I was hurting inside. I knew, hoping, had faith that I could trust life. Simply because I am alive. Even though I'm not a happy person, I'm alive. And I see this other person being very happy and I'm not, but I'm alive. And I have faith that life is good. And this is the last picture. So in essence, something inside calling that last picture, calling it, speaking to it, because it is a reality. That is a reality. It's a very immense and strong and permanent reality. It's a permanent reality. And from what I've learned, all my neuroses and my thinking and my labels and walking the streets and my confusion, it's all temporary stuff. I can't even hold on to my confusion. I found myself getting clear to some degree throughout the day. I can't hang on to any of it, not even to my little moments of clarity. All temporary stuff. but putting a faith in a permanence. It is very much, look what the people have done with the movie of Braveheart. What did it do for you? It gave you a sense that Braveheart lives still in everyone's blood. Very alive, very permanent. A hope that is everlasting. A goodness that is everlasting. A courage that is everlasting. A care, a tremendous care, this Braveheart. This William Wallace, that is everlasting. And we all can relate to that. And throughout all these years, to pinpoint and to focus on, like the tree is a central focus. Regardless of all this, the stuff that happens around us, the relationships, the stories, the day, the bills, the cost of petrol, the jobs, the family. Hold on to the focus. And watch the show. Or one of the best examples that I can give you is the fire dance. For we really learn through watching. We watch, and that's how we really all learn. An example, as the movie Braveheart affected us, we watched it. And when we watch enough, and we take in enough, it finally connects inside. There is a permanence in that. And yet to understand the predicament, there's a limit to my body, there's a limit to our bodies. There's a limit to what we can do when we come to terms with that. But to understand what the limits are and what they look like and how to address it.
I see a picture as we talk about seed in the mix. And because we don't need to know how things grow. If we give the water, it begins to grow, it begins to self-realize.
Yeah.
And for me, part of the area of what we've been discussing is also about self-esteem, I suppose, realizing that the tree is a tree and deserves some water and deserves some sunshine. And when we give it this, it responds, as you say, it's there, and it does respond, and we intellectually don't need to know how it will respond, what it must do. But there was a story I liked, was about 17 years ago, a Japanese professor found some seeds in a Chinese tomb. And these seeds were dated as 2,500 years old. And incredibly, they germinated. And 2 years ago, the magnolia trees, which came from the seeds, actually flowered. And these magnolia flowers have an extra petal on them compared to any species that's currently alive today. And the seed had waited. But given the circumstance and given the water, and given the heat and the light, it begins to move and knows what to do.
To follow nature. And this is walking the streets of Santa Cruz, way back then, having the faith, regardless of my confusion, following the nature as best as possible, was the sunlight. The seed was there. Because it's a permanent thing.
Did you say that the tree is everlasting?
The tree is everlasting. Yeah, it's just in different form. It changes the form, of course. It's like with William Wallace, we can sense that, and most human beings can sense what this person has. And that's everlasting. This is what we're after. It's not something we can put in our pocket, but yet we know of it. What else is permanent that we seek, that we hold, that we put into our heart, that we tend to follow, start to listen to, or tend to listen to, or listen to? What are the elements?
Air, water, wind, stone.
Pardon?
Fire, air, water, wind, wood, stone.
Courage, wisdom, integrity,
Honesty.
honesty, love.
I was going to say that I come from a background of Catholic religion, and they say if you have all of these things and don't put on the coat of love, as if you're barren or nothing. So love, I'm talking about love, is very important to me.
Yeah.
And I was just noticing how I find it very difficult to describe what's happening, what it is. It seems as if we haven't the language yet. Seems to me. It's not.
No. We have the language, and we all have used it, especially when we were young. But it was so natural. There was a separation between the adult world and the children. The adult world had already created this separation and developed a certain language, trying to understand what love is, and yet it was a natural thing. And yet, in the adult community, adults will go through phases of love where it's a very natural thing, when they fall in love, or they have a love for something. Some have, it's just something that is, but if you try to intellectualize it, that's where you can start to lose it. When you start to feel comfortable with it, you have that natural language where it naturally speaks.
Is it a verbal language?
It can be. It can come, it depends on where you're coming from there. It is. If the source of where you're speaking from is there, yes it is. And yet you got to understand that who is sitting in the chair? Are you capable of hearing it when it is being spoken? Are you capable of hearing it when you are speaking it? Are you too busy when someone is speaking it? The conditions have to be very, very, let's say, clear. They have to be very good to hear it. Because we're very busy people.
Amazing.
Tree, to have the courage, the compassion, to be at the tree at all times. Because the tree and the phenomenon, the world of phenomenon, it is love that holds it all together. And we don't use and work with love. We don't talk about it much. Because everybody has their own interpretation of what love is. I mean, my father would beat the kids with his belt because he loved us. And he did, but... and most of us are Catholic. You know, so a lot of us are a little confused about it. So we're trying to be careful with it. Yeah. And it's a very funny thing, just because, I mean, it's rare that we have a very sunny day and blue sky here in this part of Scotland. And it takes me back when walking the streets in a very confused time in Santa Cruz. And yet I did not realize that there was love that was holding me together. That fourth picture wasn't within my grasp. And how many years did it take to grasp it and to understand it? And then when one understands it, it was always there, always in front of me. And it never left me. These pictures, in essence, it's like looking through life's eyes. And it's still not close, but try to make it as close as possible. And that is what's helping you more than anything else. More of you understand me with less and less words. And you're understanding yourself with less and less words. Less movements, less pictures.
How do you deepen your experience of being alive when you begin to feel like you're alive? You want to feel it, I need to feel it, I want to feel it more deeply. And
You want to feel it more deeply. Wonderful. But it's a wonderful thought. And it's a great, it's a good theory, you know, that exists, that you can go deeper. But you're not. Picture number 4. For that to be, how do I have to be with it, to be with that picture? I have to totally be with it. I have to have time to be with it. I have to, let's say, know myself. And if I am not there with it, even though I want to be with it, how can I be with that picture when I am someone else walking the streets confused? Okay. It's a great hope, but I'm not there. But hold the hope, but be where I am at. To be honest with where I am at. And just hold the hope. That's simple. But know where you are at. Like the neighbor who passed away in argument with his wife. In a very few moments, he was a totally different location. Does he know where he is at? That extreme. If he really knew where he was at, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being angry with someone and being distressed. It's a hard thing to stop in this world. That's not the point. But if you know where you are at, present with your situation, whether you're angry, that's what matters. So when you pass over and you're falling down and you're dying, you can be there too.
Emaho, in Braveheart, William Wallace said, "Your heart is free, have the courage to follow it." Is that anything to do with that?
Yes, William Wallace, his father said that your heart is free, follow your heart. Not everybody's heart is free. Not all children are born with a free heart. Some of us are and some of us are not. You have to find out and realize where your heart is at. And if your heart is not free, it's not.
How would you know?
How would you? You can ask someone who knows. But look back into your life. Look back into your life. Is your life a very heartful life or a very mindful life? Are you just a mindful person or are you a very heartful person? How have people responded to you? You'll get the feedback. And it has nothing to do with hurt, you know. It has nothing to do with how wonderful your life is. That's not it. It's how you have been responding to life and how life responds to you. And if your heart has been free and you haven't taken advantage of it, very difficult. It'd be very hard on you.
When you say taken advantage, in English that can mean two things. Do you mean make the most of the opportunity, or do you mean
use of the situation?
Right. Right.
It is very, there's this other movie we're going to see, it's called Black Robe, where this Indian, he had this vision, and when he realized that he was going to die at this particular time, he said, "My God, I could have been the greatest warrior, you know, because I was always hesitating. I didn't want to get killed, and I wouldn't have gotten killed because I'm destined to die later, and I could have been the greatest warrior. Oh, I blew it." And now he's dying. Same thing with his heart. Some of us, we hold ourselves back. We have feared society, feared of being rejected, feared of being too soft, too kind. And so we imprisoned our heart, boxed up our heart, packaged up our heart with a note: do not open until, and yet some of us, our heart has not been free ever since we were born. And this would be good to know of ourselves.
So you can still get caught in all the neurosis but have a free heart?
Yes, yeah. Oh, yes. Neuroses, people, it's not there's no escape from that. It's just to understand it. If your heart has not been free, can you change it? Yes, definitely. Then you know to go and open up your heart. Because you'd be surprised how so many people have an open heart. And they close it up, even though it's open. They're really tough out here, and they're really kind and soft inside. But they're real tough out here. Who is hiding? Who? And to have the eyes to see this inside in people. Because there are people inside that are very, very rough and very dangerous inside. You have the eyes and the heart to see that. Let's break for lunch and come back at 2:30. In the movie, the picture, the tree. And where is just the earth and the maze? And where is the lightning? And where is the light from above with it? Connecting these. Anybody put it together last night? What was the beginning of the movie with the bright med students? What was the original picture? It was just the earth and the maze, huh? Because they were very clear with where they were coming from. And they pushed the situation. They pushed the whole situation in a very dramatic way. That they, let's say, they forced the lightning, and they forced the light from above. They forced them both. And what came out in the end, because it was so personal, was the tree. They completely reversed the process of what we're doing. And in essence, that's what happens when during near-death experiences or some traumatic event where the person is completely transported and they have these experiential situations from black to white or white to black, and then brought over back again. And if you started from black, it's no longer black. It's white, but it's not even white. It's black. The circle is there. The circle is completed. What touched you? What affected you in this movie? More than anything else? How did it penetrate your life? What activated something in you? Could you feel that subconscious? Huh? That uneasiness? Yeah. Yeah. You know, people, I know there's just one movie that is so disturbing that it has to be one of the most disturbing movies I've ever seen in my whole life, and it's so well done. It's a well hidden movie because it's too disturbing for most people, and we'll bring it one of these days.
I realize that a lot of people do not understand movies. And they're not just for entertainment, but that's what they originally were designed for. Nothing but pure entertainment. And if you get lost in a movie, if you get so disturbed in a movie, actually there's something wrong. There's nothing wrong with crying in a movie. It's a wonderful gift to be touched by a movie, or to feel a little anger or a little situation. But when you get lost in the movie, and you get so disturbed in a movie, there's something wrong here. It's not the movie. It's not the movie. It's here. And that's the first clue. Don't leave your seat. Stay there. Keep the eyes wide open. There's something there just for you. Because a movie can condense a whole lifetime into a matter of minutes, into a situation, because those are real live actors and actresses and situations, and they try to make it true to life as much as possible, depending on the movie. So you could gain an experience, gain a feeling, a situation, a relationship, so you could benefit from it and not just be entertained, to be touched by it. So you don't have to go through situations that they did on the movie. For instance, let's back up here and let's take karma. If these people did not go through those situations of forcing the situations to actually die, to be flatlined, brain dead, and they lived their whole life out, and then they died, what do you think is going to happen? Same thing, plus more, much more, much more, but same thing. There's no escape from it. And in essence, it was like watching a movie. It was so disturbing for them. It was like, for us, just like watching a movie. We got transported over. And this is what happens in movies. We get transported into another life, another mind, another situation, somebody else's experiences. And the most beautiful thing and the most wonderful gift is when it relates. That is when you're getting your money's worth. It relates to you. All right. Then that means we can actually condense the situation, because the movie is highly condensed. That's how it's designed. The camera is shot exactly what the director wants you to see and nothing else. It's well designed, down to the pencil, down to the letter. Did you notice throughout that whole movie, when that doctor was suspended from med school and he came down a rope from his bedroom, and then those two people were having a discussion, did you notice that word? Tough. And that was throughout the whole movie. It was all subconscious planted. Everything in the movie. Well designed to hit that subconscious. And that's how the writer actually designed it. It's just that to find a director to continue the original dream of the writer is rare. And to find a director that is so good with it. And that was the other thing, to activate our subconscious, our discomfort, our feeling. And imagine getting ourselves displaced, sitting in our chairs, just watching a movie getting displaced. You know, we're going through a little agony of our own watching the movie. And all because of the subconscious not being, hidden. That pressure building up. Doesn't that tell you how close you are consciously to it? To your subconscious, it's always right there. And it took a movie for you to feel the wall of the subconscious. Right there. It's right there. It's that close to you. All the time. And it took a movie to activate it, for you to feel it, to sense it. Huh? That was it? The goal is not to have a movie activated, but let's say to eventually break down the bricks. Slowly, not fast. It's dangerous to do it in a very fast way. With some form of care and respect for it. Because in many respects, there are a lot of parts of our subconscious that should not be open and released for some time. There's time capsules, so to speak, in it. But to have access to it, because too much information can be very dangerous. So there's a respect for it. But the phenomenon of it, to feel the wall of it, and the effect it has on our body continuously, just with a movie? Huh? You didn't even, well, yeah, you did pay for it, didn't you? Yeah. Yes.
What's the difference between being transported into a movie and getting lost in one?
What is the difference between transported into a movie and getting lost in one? Basically the same thing. Just using different words. But it's a different way of looking at it. Yeah. Of expressing it. And yet they can be very unique in using transporting and getting a different point across versus getting lost in one. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
It's subconscious like a shadow.
It is subconscious like a shadow. Yes, it is actually very much like around the corner. It's like it's the maze. This is what's interesting. What's around the corner? Huh? What's around the corner? What's around the corner? What's around the corner? Huh? This is what we're leading into the second picture, just with the maze and the earth. Yes.
Could it be appropriate to mind a movie if you just feeling you married?
Is it appropriate
To mind a movie, not to watch it.
if it's too unbearable?
Too much.
If it's too much, yes. Oh yeah, you can. There's nothing wrong with walking away, getting yourself composed again, and then, if you can, walk back in, right? And then away for a couple of weeks or a couple of days. Get the movie again. Go at it again until you can do the whole movie. See, the most amazing thing, people, it's a movie. It's only a movie. It's not real. It is not real. It's really, I swear, it's not real. And one of the thing is the next movie that we watch, and if it really gets you, go behind the screen and check it out. It's really not real. And if Reflections of Light does that to you, that means, my God, the power of the light is immense. All you have to do is arrange certain sequences of light, and what can it do to you out in the streets? In essence, to understand light and the effect it has on us, Everything is light. We go into the dream state. The neighbor passes away on you. You have a daydream. Deep sleep. That's the only common bond. The only true common bond from one realm into the next is light. And either the light is, you could call it artificial, to light that is alive. It is like blood, living light. And to understand light, first of all, in essence from a scientist or an engineer point of view, or from a mother's point of view, the mother uses light all the time to teach their kids, to be with their children, to be with their family. And the father uses the light. And the children uses the light to communicate with the kids, their brothers and sisters, and their parents, and their friends. Everybody uses light. And we are all, in essence, experts of light. But when we don't understand it and we fear light, we're fearing ourselves. And we have to understand we are working with all kinds of reflections of light. And one of the most biggest hurtful things that we have really done to ourselves in this world is to use light to be feared of. The shadows. Call it sin. We have turned the other half of the light that we can't see, and we have put the death of fear into our children for centuries and centuries. And so what does that say about light? As a human being with free will, and as a human being if life gave me a hand and some fingers to handle a spoon to lift up some grains of cereal with some milk with it, and it's my choice to lift it in, it is because of the light that I see what's in my spoon. It is because of the light that feeds me. It has given me. It's not just my hand, it's the light. And in some sense, I can get away with the light. I can be blind, and yet I could still live, but I can feel. But there is still light in our minds. There's still light in our heads. Go ahead, gouge out my eyes, but I will still see. But if you haven't gouged out my eyes yet, then my job is to learn to see the light that I was born into, to see. To befriend the light, not to fear the light. And part of the light of growing up, and it's not all a pretty situation because of nature and confusion and ignorance. A little twist of the light here, a little bend of the light, a little swatches of colors of various forms from pastel to ceramic, to watercolors, to crayons, to pencil. A little slant of a curve, a twisting of an angle. For if I have eyes to see, let me keep my eyes open. And if you touch me at the bottom of my stomach where I feel the pain, or if you could make me cry, good. You can touch my heart, good. If you can make me cringe and boil in my seat with fear, good. I will learn you. I will be touched, and I will grow from you. For what is it to grow up into this world? We don't live in a world where there's peace. We don't. War in this part of the world just ended, 53, 54 years ago. So we can't relax. Braveheart is still necessary. Extremely necessary. And it'll probably be necessary for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, maybe for thousands of years on this planet. But to get very smart with it, and to use all the light that is available to us, and to learn of all the various forms of light. For is that all you are? Just reflected light bouncing off a screen. A dance of colors, a dance of shades. And if you can move me like you do, geniuses you are. For if I could walk out of here grown up, matured a little bit more, I have gotten my money's worth, and I can say thank you. I have learned so much. A wonderful teacher you are. But once you understand it, it is a better teacher than me. Because there's no personality. With me, I'm a living personality that your personality and your brain is always contending with. There's always a battle back and forth. And here, you don't have to. You can receive without doing the personality conflicts. That's the beauty part of the dance of colors, which are nothing but movies. There was this one movie when I first saw what movies can do. It activated so much paranoia in me. It was horrible. I couldn't understand what is going on here because I didn't understand what was going on in the movie. It didn't make any sense to me. But I was totally paranoid sitting in my chair. And I didn't go back to see that movie for 3 years. I was so much in fear of it. But I worked other movies in the meantime, getting myself ready and prepared, for it because it was too much for me. The power of it. Who has that power over me? Dancing light, dancing curves. And if only a movie, a screen can do that. No wonder I fear people. No wonder I have great difficulties with people in life. They're dancing light too, with many colors, many sounds. There was no true living being up there for me. I had to realize it's a screen. It's not alive. It's not. So the problem's not the people. people. In living life, it's not the people. If a screen can put me in total paranoia, if it has that power, and I get paranoid around certain people, maybe it's me. And I just project a picture on and put it right smack onto their face, and then I think it's them. Have I been tricked here my whole life? Blaming others, pointing the finger. You made me feel like this. You done this to me. Look how you affected me. You have hurt me. You've disappointed me. And the common bond is light. The common bond, the bridge, whether it is from one realm into the next, whether it's looking at your face, sitting there, or mine, it's a bridge, it's a light, this bridge of light. Oh, what is this light? The bridge, the real factor here that is transporting the expression from your face, or transporting the expressions and the feelings from the depth of my mind or my feelings. What is the bridge here? This light. This messenger. This well-designed, beautiful messenger, this bridge of light. It passes the messages back and forth. Do I trick myself? Do I pay off the messenger to change the face of who I am looking at and substitute the face that is in my heart of hurt and pain as to blame? Understand the light. Befriend the messenger. Befriend the light. Understand the bridge. A very common, beautiful, ordinary, quite invisible bridge. This light. What light do I seek? What light do I live in? What light feeds me? What light really keeps me abreast and standing up? What light protects me when I'm deep in sleep? What light keeps me alive? What light feeds my heart and feeds my mind? What light guides me? What light really teaches me? For this living light, for this living light, for all these movies are takeoffs, chips off the living light. Turn your eyes, turn your mind, turn your direction, turn your intent to this bridge, to what light is, a common factor and the messengers. For one has to fall in love with one's light. To have comfort with one's light. And to understand the phenomenon of it all. For if a flat screen can teach me, good. For one thing that is so interesting, if a movie like Braveheart can touch so many people, a flat screen, that means in the light of making the movie itself, something was passed over, the courage and the intent of the movie. It's in the light, the messengers. It's in the light. The messengers are passed over. It got across something. It got across. That's what art is. A good artist, a painter, a photographer, a sculptor, an interior designer, an architect. It got across. The light got across, passed over from one's heart, one's intent. The teaching got through. The teaching was actually transported from one realm into the next. Just like in the movie. They got it transported over so they could get the teachings. Something real, something alive. Because it's very, very personal inside. People, once you see it, this whole world, it is our gift. This whole world is our beautiful gift. It's the most beautiful gift. There's so many beautiful teachers in this world. And once you can see the beauty of these teachers. There's teachers far better than me. Teachers of directors and doctors. They become experts in their fields. If you could see and understand the beauty, you could see their teachings, how they transport it. And it's all done through this light, through this bridge of light. And sound. And sound too. Definitely sound too. Yeah.
Could you say something about censorship? You know, people who fear that a movie has been made with a destructive intention, an attempt to protect others by censorship.
Yeah. That's such a... the trouble with censorship, to some degree, is no doubt it's necessary. It's extremely necessary. Because there are some movies that are just should not be put out there. And then, the thing is, it all depends on the upbringing for for children. Children are raised differently. Some are hidden, and their brains are, they have so much innocence, and they're well protected, and so they need to be well protected from movies too, to some degree, with certain violence and whatever. But they got to grow up into this world, and usually censorship is designed and formulated so at a specific age they should be ready by that time. But that's not the case. We're in our 30s and we're not ready for movies. Huh? We have found this out. I've seen many people in their 40s and 50s that are not ready for movies that are released when at 16 years of age. And we're not ready. Underdeveloped. And especially in our day and age where there's such a vast range of development, of maturity, that censorship, it is good and it's healthy, and yet it's very unhealthy in some respects. Because who is censoring? Who's doing the censoring? And that's the hard part. To find someone who's really qualified, who's very mature, and not just biased and angry inside, but who has a caring and has a wisdom behind it.
Can you say something about what it means to have your heart free, and also in relation to this life that you're talking about?
What does it mean to have one's heart free? When you're looking at children, with most children, you can sense that their heart is free. It looks like that. It's the youth, for the most part. That doesn't mean that their heart is free. It's just that they're so youthful, spontaneous, and it looks like the heart is free. And there is an innocence with it, and there is a sense of freedom, but that doesn't mean their heart is free. Because who were they? Where did they come from? You could say, what is in their destiny? And that's what it takes to see that. For when one's heart is free, you could say that there are many roads for you to travel on. You're free to travel. Destiny is yours. You can do with it with what you wish. Karma is waiting for you. And as a result, call it when synchronicity is there. What is the power of synchronicity? It attracts. There is support, tremendous support there. And when one heart is free and takes it up, especially for a cause, it attracts other kinds and forms of people and light and causes. They easily can raise an army or a cause or a situation with garbage or computers or with family or with kids. And everyone around them is touched by them. There are businesswomen and businessmen whose heart has been free their whole life. And they are running businesses. And their employees will die for them. They can go to any other job and get twice the pay, but they don't want to because they have an employer whose heart is free. And they know this is where they can benefit, not the money. They can sense a growth that is difficult to describe, but it's real. What they do, what they speak, what direction they walk, There's some point to it. There's some life to it. Livingness to it. There's something different about them. Somehow they like to stir things up. Somehow they're very extreme. And somehow they're very, very quiet and yet very deep inside. Somehow they love life. And most have been hurt severely, and yet they will always still love life. They encourage others when they meet them and see them. They will always touch many. And many that cross their path, destinies can be changed. Their directions can be changed. Given new thoughts and new ideas of how to look at things. Because when one's heart is free, it's just not an intellectual thing, but like a living handshake from your father, or a genuine kiss from your mother, or a most wonderful hug from your grandmother or grandfather. Or a beautiful closeness with a friend.
Can you go in and out of your heart being free and then not being free? Or is it like once if your heart's free, it's free?
It's free. There's no going in and out. Yeah. Yeah. But you're alone. Yeah. Can I say something about the aloneness and free heart? In all human beings, whether your heart is not free or free, whether you live in your mind or you're in a coma, the aloneness is with all. Whether you are a god or an angel, whether you are a spider or a bird, whether you are a whale or a school of fish, all feel the aloneness. None can escape the aloneness of life. For you can hug someone and you can have many friends, and yet the aloneness will still be felt. And there can be no denying with this. This is what meditation is supposed to take care of. This is what education is supposed to take care of. This is what friendship and family is supposed to take care of to some degree. But still one will find a great loneliness that is out there. And it is a vast spaciousness between one's internal environment and everything external. You could call it a gap, a tremendous gap that is so, so very real. An identity unto yourself. No one like you. No one like you. And an individual unto yourself. And yet at a certain time, in a certain place, one can understand all is one. And yet, you can still feel the loneliness. For in time, this is one we all have to learn and understand what this loneliness is. For that is the longest thing that will hang on. There's nothing more profound than that. And it's an ingredient. It's a necessary ingredient to go through. It's a necessary ingredient to take in and to have this mineral, call it, to be absorbed so we can, let's say, be more. And that doesn't mean the loneliness goes away, but it changes its face. And one's attitude, one's life, one's blood even changes its course. So now one is with it and not separate from it. One is made of it and pretending one is not.
I'm not sure if you just answered me, but it was about, is there a reality in the aloneness, or is that because of the
No.
separation?
There is a reality in the aloneness. It is a reality. It's you can't use light for this. There's no light with this one. None. This is something very different. There was another question. Yes.
What is meant by uncaused light?
Pardon?
Uncaused light, difference. I'm not sure when you talk about uncaused light as opposed to caused light.
I can't quite hear you.
What is meant by uncaused light? Is there a difference, or is it the same as caused light?
Yeah, the question is there a difference between caused light and uncaused light? Are you talking about, in your question, are you saying is the light different between caused light and uncaused light?
I'm not sure. In my mind, is it the same? Or, I don't know if you can actually answer the question because I'm very confused.
All right, let me speak of it. Maybe I can answer it because you're putting a lot of questions in your question. You know, when you're talking to a friend and all of a sudden you sense, or maybe you'll see in the expression of your friend an ulterior motive, or you can hear it, the sound. And this ulterior motive has something to do with you and is really affecting you. And you become on guard, cautious, because you can feel the motive. Versus you're talking to a friend, and the friend is talking to you, and you're just talking, and there's a beautiful, good communication going on, where you both are feeling, wonderful with each other. And that's the difference between a cause. There's a cause and an on-cause. And then you take it into more of the absolute of what we're dealing with. We live in a world of causes. We live in an atmosphere, in a universe of causes. There's a cause behind everything here. Why the suns are born, the moons, etc., etc., why we get up and why we go to sleep. A cause for everything. So everything since we were conceived, in our conception, in our very nervous system, there's a cause behind it. Every little millimeter of growth of our nervous system, there's a cause behind it. And then comes in the intellectual understanding and the conceptual understanding behind it of living and what life is with a cause behind it. And then we are born and we go through all these various causes, and we see these big faces as an infant. We're watching these big faces throwing off all these various expressions, looking at us, speaking at us with a certain voice, and all this various light. And there's all causes behind it. They're happy. The parents are happy. The nurse is happy. But there's causes of this light, this various light that they haven't seen before. And then we go to school and we're taught nothing but causes. Why this and why that? And then we have this natural inbred situation going on in ourselves. What is that? Want to touch this, want to touch that. Go for this, go for that. Growth, learning, reach out. A cause, a cause, a cause, a cause. So practically everything from morning till night is based on causes. So when our thinking comes in of what is life, what is this atmosphere, what is spirit, we come from an extremely harsh, dense background of causes behind our questions. There's no room behind it for on cause. There's got to be a cause. So when you throw out something that has some relevance to what life is, where some reality, you get some sentence out of the Bible or out of the Gita or whatever, or some book of wisdom that doesn't have a cause, and so people work frantically to put a cause in it so they feel comfortable again. Because what makes us feel comfortable is when we find a cause. We've got it figured out. But when we don't have it figured out, we fear it, we kill it, we'll burn it, tar and feather it, burn it. We don't understand it. Therefore, it's got to be evil, it's got to be bad. You're no good, something wrong with you. I can't figure it out. To have an utmost faith in life, first of all, to use faith. To get past the labels and relax with our causes. What will my mind finally see? What will I be able to perceive from my heart without causes? What would I view? What would I see life as with no more causes? Or just think of it. What does motivation do? How does it move your body? How does it activate your brain? It's a high, isn't it? It's a high. It's a high. What does seeking out do for you? It's a high. Searching, it's a high. Adrenaline highs. All forms of highs. And then we get off on this, you know? Give me a high, give me another high, give me another high. Especially to question and to ponder and to work it out and to figure it out. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. We have to. We've got to be very good at it. Well, when it comes down, for when a neighbor can fall before your eyes, when a neighbor in argument and distress and hurt can pass away right before your eyes, and wondering where the neighbor goes, Where will I go? Where did I come from? Maybe when I've read or heard those very few words from an old sage or a priest or just an ordinary person, peace be unto you. Peace be unto you. What does that mean? May you have peace. What does that mean? What are they really saying? Peace. 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 May you have peace. What does that really mean? Peace. Peace. May you come to rest in peace. I wonder what that means. I wonder what they meant by it. May they rest in peace. To see life without a cause, and yet still understand the causes. Not fear reason, and not fear the questions, but to be at peace with all the causes. But then one is coming from another place. But then one is being touched from another place. Not just another area inside your brain, but you're coming from your heart. Why have we found out? Be careful not to judge, but you got to have discretion. What does that mean? To be at peace. And yet not close your eyes to it. When that time comes, where you have the affinity, you have the feeling, you have the senses, and I can see it in most of your eyes, you have developed it. In those moments that you find yourself in, whether in a car or in a closet, can do it too. In your quietness, peace, peace, peace to me, peace to me, peace to me, peace to me. Peace, peace to me. For we have to care for ourselves too. We have to bless ourselves too. And I talk to myself. I've always had talk to myself. And you'll find an uncausedness. And you will find an uncausedness. A place inside you. And when you learn to commute to this place inside you, in uncausedness, and this is in all beings, a peace that is there. You cannot kill it. You can't wipe it away. You can't use Windex on it. You can't soap it away. You're stuck with it. But it turns one's eyes and one's direction into it, and to speak to it, like picking up a phone to call someone. Speak to it. Peace. I am. Peace. Unto me. Peace. Unto me. No one can ever take this away from you. Not life, nor God, nor devil, nor angel, nor friend or foe could ever take this away.